What's up, everybody? It's Luke James, not the singer. If you're looking to get your music reviewed, you can hit up this email that's right here. But today I'm going to hit you up with my thoughts and opinions on this latest album from Houston rapper Travis Scott, and it is called ASTROWORLD. Now, Travis Scott did drop Birds in the Trap, Sing McKnight a couple of years ago. People were very split on this one, but I actually thought it was dope. And I think if you ask most people, they would say that their favorite record from him is Rodeo. I do like that album as well. I would say that and Birds in the Trap are quite similar, at least in regards to how much I like them. And even his mixtape Days Before Rodeo had some gems on it too. That said, Travis Scott is an MC or a rapper or auto-crooner, whatever you want to call him, who's very consistent with his music, and you pretty much know what you're going to get going into a project of his. You're definitely going to get that same type of sound here with the spacey atmospheric bangers and all that auto-crooning. So if you are a fan of Travis Scott, I cannot see you being disappointed with this one. It really has a lot of great things going for it. One of the things I do like about the production on here is how the beats often evolve and switch up, starting off with the song Stargazing, where we get one of the album's nastiest beat switch-ups. I love that heavy bass that kicks in on the second half, and I also think it's pretty cool how he shows love to Big Mo on this one by saying that he is sippin' like the bar baby. You're also going to notice another standout with SICKO mode. This has a Tay Keith switch up, and I think by now that we all know as soon as we hear that Tay Keith tag, we are in for some heavy ass bangers. We all heard what he did with Nonstop when he was working with Drake, which went on to probably be one of the better songs from that project, and this track kind of reminds me of that song because you do get Drake rapping on here with that same lazy type of flow. I just think it's an all-out banger when it switches up, so these are two of my favorite tracks right out of the gates. Overall, I gotta say that the production here is very consistent throughout. Like, there were a couple of beats here and there that I wasn't in love with, but for the most part, they all fit together. And I always do like that cloudy, hazy vibe that Travis brings to his music. The track R.I.P. Screw is a perfect example of this because it's a cloudy Night Rider, and you're also getting some Sway Lee vocals that mesh pretty nicely with what Travis Scott is doing. This by far is one of my favorite tracks, and I appreciate that he's showing love to a Houston legend on this one because DJ Screw paved the way for plenty of people. It's actually very cool how Travis Scott is on here showing all that Houston love, as that's where he's from, because you're going to pick up on little references all over it. So I already mentioned on that track, obviously, he's showing love to DJ Screw. You got the Big Mo nod that I brought up. Big Mo, he had some great songs back in the day. We all remember that Purple Stuff. That was catchy. Confidential Player was another good song. He got all kinds of them. And you might even notice on Can't Try, you're getting a sample of Big Hawk. This same sample was used on Trey the Truth's song Swang. That's a Houston classic as far as I'm concerned. I really like that. So it's very cool how this has that Houston theme all throughout it. Even the title, ASTROWORLD. I didn't know this, but apparently ASTROWORLD was a Houston theme park that was shut down a couple of years ago. So that's what Travis is going for with this one. You know what I mean? Kind of representing for that park. And I believe he actually threw a birthday party or something like that back at that old park. Like he put it together and him and his family went through there. I remember seeing something like that. I'm not big into the rap news and gossip too much, but I remember seeing that, so I'm sure you guys know what I'm talking about. But moving forward, we're also going to notice on No Bystanders that the hook borrows from 3 6 Mafia's song Tear the Club Up. Of course, they're not from Houston because they're Memphis legends, but I just wanted to bring that up because I think it's pretty cool how so many rappers are showing love to these guys. They are getting sampled and interpolated all over the place these days, and they certainly deserve it because they're another group that helped pave the way for people, much like DJ Screw opened a lot of doors with all the things that he was doing. So there are a lot of cool references on this, and the production throughout is really dope. But the standout track on here to me has got to be Stop Trying to Be God. The mellow production here is backed by Kid Cudi hums, James Blake vocals, and even some Stevie Wonder harmonica, and concept/content-wise, this is one of the deeper tracks. How I took it was how it's all about just staying true to yourself, because Travis is on here saying, stop trying to be God Almighty, fuck the money, never leave your people behind, just encouraging us to never lose sight of the people who have always been there for us, because at the end of the day, that's what really matters. And he has another line I felt when he says, you won't succeed trying to learn me, stick to the roads in my journey. I took this as him just saying that you got to kind of pave your own way and stick to your vision. You can certainly be inspired by people and learn from others and take from here and there, but at the end of the day, you got to stay true to yourself and be who you are. I think it's great how we got this little bit of introspection and insight from Travis, since most of this is really just your typical content. I mean, you don't really expect crazy bars and content from Travis because most of his stuff is just about the atmosphere, you know what I mean? Just some bangers and stuff to drive around to. But I thought the vulnerability on that track was refreshing. And on the song Coffee Bean, which is versus the last track, we are getting some more personal content from Travis. This is just all about the ups and downs he's had with his relationship as far as being with Kylie Jenner, and this also has more of a traditional feel to it with the hard-hitting drums, guitar, and Travis's more straightforward rap style. So I really like this track. I'd put it as one of my favorites, but I found it kind of funny how he was saying that her family was saying he was a bad move, plus it was kind of weird how he was a black dude, or something along those lines. I'll post the exact line or whatever, but I just found that kind of funny, because we all know Kardashians and BBC go together like PB and J. But whatever the case, it was refreshing to get a little bit of content on this record, because as I said, there's a lot of bottom tier shit on this too, which does kind of hold back a little bit. I mean, you're not expecting Travis to come through with all kinds of craziness on here, but, you know, a little bit would go a long way, so I wish he had done a bit more. For example, on Skeletons, he's rapping about wiping cum off of a woman with a towel and not a Kleenex, because obviously he's a gentleman, guys. Kleenex can tear, okay? Use a very soft, terry towel or something like that that's really going to sop up all that man chowder. You know, you got to have some respect for these ladies. And he has another line on the same track where he says something about giving out pearl necklaces. Probably not the kind that Marge Simpson wears, although I guess we could speculate about her and Homer's sex life. I mean, he probably has given pearl necklaces, but let's not get into that. That's just a whole other story. We're not going to do some hentai up in here. And, you know, it's just, I thought about putting maybe a picture up there. Maybe I'm trying to get my shit flagged. I don't want to put some crazy picture of Marge or something like that. Maybe we'll just put a ripped Ned Flanders. There you go. You all happy? You got some ripped Ned Flanders for that ass. Moving forward, though, some of the other moments on here that were kind of funny. On the song NC-17, he says that he's eating punane that is getting his bangs wet. That shit was just kind of funny to me, because when I think of bangs, I think of like a mushroom cut or something like that. But obviously he's talking about his braids. And punane was just kind of strange to me, because I never heard that. I've heard punani, not punane, but whatever, man. He's got his face all up in there, getting his hair all wet and fucked up. 21 Savage is on the same track, nutting on girls' cheeks and calling them baby face. I don't know, man. These lyrics, I get it. You ain't supposed to take them serious. They're just funny and having fun, but they just are kind of some dry shit. You know what I mean? They're just getting silly up on this, but hey, it is what it is, man. Maybe I'm just being an old fuddy-duddy because I'm getting old and shit, but whatever. That was just a couple of lines that stuck out to me. They're kind of funny and silly. And moving on, there are some other moments I didn't care for, so we're going to talk about that as well. 5% Tint, I thought that had some of the album's most drab production, just with that dull bass line and piano work. Really didn't stick out to me much at all. Butterfly Effect is generic like Great Value Cheerios. There's just nothing that sticks out about this one to me. And Who What is just an incredibly standard banger featuring Quavo and Takeoff. I also wasn't a fan of the extra thick vocal effects on Astro Thunder. And then on Yosemite, you got Nav up on there singing like he's got a fucking clothespin on his nose. But that's just how he sounds, so it is what it is, man. In spite of that, I do like the production on Astro Thunder and Yosemite. They're guitar-backed, and Yosemite also has some cool woodwinds going on. Kind of sounds like a pan flute or something like that. So not everything is bad. I'm just going to talk about some of the things I didn't care for, because I didn't think it was all good. But at the end of the day, man, I'm going to go with a 3.5 out of 5 here, because this is a pretty standard project from Travis, but it's still really damn good, man. I think the production steals the show here. I really like a lot of the beats. You can certainly work with this for driving around at night, parties, and those sort of vibes, but I was just hoping for maybe a little bit more experimentation, maybe a little bit more content and depth. I'm not saying he had to switch his whole shit up, but just a little more would have gone a long way for me, because some of these tracks feel a little bit fillerish in spots. Just the same type of sound, the same type of topics and bars and content we've heard before. So it is what it is. 3.5 out of 5 is still really good. This will likely be an honorable mention at the end of the year. But you guys let me know in the comments section what you think. I already see people calling this classic and flawless from start to finish, so fuck it, man. What do I know? Maybe I'm wrong. Maybe you guys all love this. But then again, you can't be wrong because it's opinions. But hey, let me know what you think. Make sure you hit me up on all my social media sites so you can show me love and show me lots of it. Thank you for watching, everybody. I will see you next time.